Katie here, and this is my series. I'm calling it Facets, or yeah, pretty much that's what I'm calling it. And I am using a 2025 planner and using 2024 stickers in here. And that's an idea I'm having. And I'm trying to use them all up. So I'm playing around with layouts that I've never done in it's an A5 vertical here from Sterling Ink. And while I absolutely love a vertical, I do. So much fun. Fun and accurate for my brain. I also have played around with different things here. So this last one, I did more verticals. I was much more consistent because that's my persona here. I'm also revisiting old dreams I've had along the way. I'm in my 40s now. And there's some things here that I've had ideas about throughout my life going, oh, what if I did this or what if I did that? And just totally mixing up the layout in different ways. Again, sometimes more consistent, but then sometimes very different. And then I put in all these months. I had collected the whole year. Some of them are washi, some of them are matte stickers, but and then this was one of my favorites from 22, and I was kind of wondering about just sticking this in here. I have more than one, but I don't have a December sticker here. What I did was I am filling these out for when I'm planning my month. Again, this is all made up. It's just something to kind of get all the stickers in here. That's the whole point of it, and to try new layouts. And so I did put January 25 in here since there was an extra January. So I don't know, I was playing around with that. So this being May, this is June here. May, I actually don't have that many stickers. I only have the days of the week for 4 weeks, which I think are enough. Let's see. No, I'm going to have a week without, but I did do that. It was another month. Was it February? Where I had stickers. No, it wasn't. I had them down here. Had them on the side. Let's see. There was one, I don't remember. But I just wrote it in, and it didn't look too different than having those there. It wasn't here. I could have sworn it was April. Here it was. So it's not that different looking. So I was able to just kind of blend it in. So, there are chapters in this video, so you can jump around and see like what the final layouts look like. I do like to just show how I'm compositing everything, kind of putting everything together. Again, I only have these. This is all I have. And so it's going to be, I think, I have not put any washi tape in here yet. So I think we're going to introduce washi tape in here this time, and maybe a stamp or two. We'll see. But these are pretty dramatic in and of themselves. You know, the draping of, I'm trying to remember what this is called. The really long drapey ones. I remember looking it up at the time, and of course the wisteria is in here, but there's these long like beads. They're kind of like drapey beads. So I think I'll probably end up even cutting this one so I can use it in multiple places. So this persona definitely is going to be using the minimum. And I did want to just kind of update and show how things are progressing here. So I still have just a little bit. I think this is all I have left of February. January, I have a lot in here still because I ordered one of the big kits. And so there's still quite a few things in there. So that's kind of the thicker one. Plus I have some leftover undated stickers that I can redate. This is all I have left. I could use these. These would blend in really well. Let's do that. Because again, the whole point is to just use things up. And if one persona uses stuff from somebody else, totally fine. See, there's like purple and white in there. And that would totally just go. So we'll do that. And yeah, for April and March, there's just some strips here, which that seems to be kind of like what I have left. Now, June, there's a lot more here. July, there's a little. July is going to be a lot like here. There's not much. And August, there's a good amount. Yeah, there's definitely more here. This one's a little light. And then there's enough there. So, but I also wanted to share, these are all, all the stickers I've been using up completely here. These are all empty. And this was a vertical I replaced in January. I just had an extra, so I thought I would do that. And then these are all like the little month stickers here that I already placed down. So the goal is to have this really full and to have these as empty as possible. I'm kind of wondering, like, what can I do with these strips? Because I have a feeling that is mainly what I'm going to have left. So that's something to keep in mind. And that's okay, right? Like, it's mid-project and this is getting much thinner. But yeah, the goal is to empty these and then I'll have more room to put different stickers in here. The biggest thing was, like, this was just all sitting in my sticker binder, not doing anything, just doing nothing. And I really just want to use all this up. So that is what I've been doing. And let's see what this persona is going to be. Okay, so let me tell you about this persona. And just a warning, my light comes and goes because I'm using natural light and this is a long process. I am literally going to turn the book this way. So this persona is a therapist who lives in Notting Hill in London. And I'm pulling from kind of some different things. There was a point in my life when I considered becoming a licensed therapist, but I'm just not a deep school person. Like, I love to learn, but the ADHD in me is like, I flit around to different things and I learn a lot about them, but I don't like dive really deep unless there's something like I really love. Like planners, I have learned tons about and know very deeply, but also I had lost a parent during that time and therapy was so beneficial and I really saw how it could help people. And I also felt like, and the family member I lost was in psychology. And so I knew how that helped their, I'm trying not to give too much away, their patients, clients, I'll just say that. And that I know I have like one of my greatest assets I know of myself is listening. That is just something that I love, to listen to people's stories, to hear the whole picture and to really dive deep into it. So there was definitely a time when I would do that and that I thought about it, that, maybe going back to school and doing this. And there were a few other acquaintances of mine who actually did that So I kind of watched them going through that, and I saw how much time it took. Like, it would have probably taken me about 4 years. I had a degree, but it's not anywhere near related to that. So I'd kind of have to start over. And I didn't want to take 4 years to do that. I just didn't. Again, maybe the ADHD. And so I am now into coaching. And so I feel like you have to be very careful about that line of therapy and coaching. There's definitely, an area that you shouldn't go into. There's nothing I can do if someone needs medications. There's nothing I can do if it's interpersonal between two different people. Like, I don't get into relationships. It's only talking about self. It's only talking about like what you can do and focusing on like what you have control over, and motivation and drive and living day to day, like encouragement and looking back, doing a lot of reflection, a lot of listening, and a lot of like, well, what if you looked at it a different way? And so this definitely like turning this sideways and going, oh, let's look at this a different way, I think is something that'll be fun this week. And so there's going to be appointments for clients on here. There's going to be some, continuing learning, and some meetings with the people who supervise, because therapists have supervisor therapists who, kind of keep track of you as well. You're just not out on your own. And the main thing I'm going to do is take these and I'm going to put them down this side. And I think I'll put the numbers over here too. So I'm going to get rid of these, but then kind of use these numbers as lines. So yeah. So enjoy the music. And I'll catch you on the other side of all this, because it's going to take a while. And more rain is coming, so it got a little dark. But let's hope for maybe some sun by the time I'm done with this. Okay, and I am back. So I found these layouts really kind of freeing because it felt like almost an A4 size, which is bigger than a B5. Yeah, B5 is like a little, it's big, but it's not this big. And I just went, horizontal with everything. And I went back to the monthly here and penciled in, erasable penned. I had a bunch of regulars, and on Wednesdays I have supervisor time where I'm doing notes and doing a lot of things that admin things, but I didn't feel like the need to put them in here. My persona is more like there is a very regular schedule to everything, and I think I have someone helping run the admin type things. So I didn't put that in here at all. Not like Sydney was before in, when was that? That was February. I had Sydney helping a whole bunch. And so... yeah, there's this really regular rhythm. I'm booked out. There's not a lot of people coming and going right now. And I only have 3 time slots every day because they're more intense time slots. And I'm thinking I'm helping people through grief, through loss or transition, and not couples. This is not like couples therapy or anything like that. This is like individuals, and everybody was once a week, and I had a few things on the weekend. There was definitely some things happening these 3 Saturdays in a row, but the rest of the time was like really kind of, open and free. And then I just put in a couple dinners out, and then because these, actually I didn't put a little dot here. Because there is a lot of these events, then I figured like my partner and I were having time to have dinners out together, but then also having some time with friends or whatever this is. I just tried to put in like 3 different events, but I felt like there was this kind of solid quiet to it all, this very kind of grounded, and maybe I'm kind of attuned to Taurus season. I think May kind of brings that about, and it just felt very beautiful with all of these flowers and wisteria. And I'm also going to include some footage of some wisteria I found near me this time of year. I am going through these months very quickly, but May caught up to May here. And so I kind of felt, I think, zeroed in on this time. And so with the horizontal here, it's hard to keep it all on the screen at once, but I played around with where the washi tape was sitting and just never used any of these dates here. Used up all of these. And yeah, I have quite the stack here of empty, stickers. I used them all up, and then used these numbers to renumber everything, and just tried different, placements of these. I like how these are kind of off to the side, and then these are centered. I actually like that look kind of the best here. I'm getting washi tape on myself. And then I put in meal planning just to kind of see where it fit, because I feel like that's something that I would do, that it's really important to have that variety, but that planning ahead part. So I wanted to fit that here. Sometimes it's kind of lower to the right, sometimes it's centered, but it's a very predictable schedule, and just kind of marking that this is the weekend helps, and that the consistent, supervisor times are there. It's just kind of hard to come up with all these. Like, I'm trying to come up with 5 times 7, 35 different meal names, and it's kind of like my own meal planning. Like it's hard to go through and do all that. And here I am just trying to come up with names here that seem like variety and kind of are appropriate for each day. So, and then this one I thought was really interesting. So this, I mean, technically the stickers are upside down here. But I liked it because they were kind of like just on the side, and it gave this quite a lot of space to kind of keep these a little closer, so I didn't have any dividers in here. And I also kind of kept thinking, I never put anything on a Sunday, probably because that's, you know, a really good reading day or something just to chill out. I kept thinking of putting something up here, and I didn't quite know what that was. And maybe I'll come back to it. But like last week, I had all of these down at the bottom, and I didn't want to quite do that. I didn't feel like this persona was tracking things in the planner. I have some with, you know, trackers over here. This one didn't have any trackers, just like kind of rough information kind of put in the margins. So I don't know, it definitely left. So if you're ever like considering this and you have like an area, this whole sidebar in a horizontal layout felt like there was a big opportunity to do something there. But I'm just like, I don't know what to put there during all of them. I just kind of like the blank space. It could definitely be a to-do list, but I feel like this persona has that digitally. I just feel like she's just very more compartmentalized, where I feel like, you know, this rhythm of doing the same thing most days, varying up, you know, meals, but there's still this like quiet structure, and she has to leave a lot at work. I think that's one of the big things that I'm thinking about this one, is like there's so much emotion in some of these that's why there's a lot of padded space in between. These are a little bit closer, but that allows her to like get some, you know, things done in the morning, and then in the evening she can kind of decompress a bit. But yeah, it just, what would you put up here? Because I could go back and do that in a later thing. I don't feel like it should be a food list. I feel like that's on her phone. I don't feel like it's tracking health stuff. I feel like that's on her phone if she's doing any. I feel it could be an admin list, but I feel like that's separate. Like she'll have, there's no like notes in here. There's no notes of sessions or anything. That is definitely not being put into like a regular planner. She just wants to kind of map out everything so that she's not missing anything. So I kind of like the space up there because there's space down here on Sundays for all of them. So that's why I'm just kind of not. But yeah, I mean, if you don't do much Sundays, you could use this space as some kind of tracker or list in this space as well. So honestly, I don't feel like I should push it and try to do something else, but I would love to hear from you what you think. So what do you think of these? Would you ever try them? Because you could, you know, essentially put this out on your desk and still kind of read everything from the side. I also kind of pictured it as she leaves it open just to see who's next, you know, from a distance, that it's not, you know, full of all these things that she's doing. She's just a reminder that those are the people that she's seeing and that that's the meal. And maybe she is shopping after work for it, but it's just much simpler. Yeah. So let me know what you think. Yeah, there wasn't anything special about the monthly view. Other than I just tried to keep like this kind of purple, which, so we do have 3 different purples going on, and purple is so hard. Like this is a kind of a warmer purple, and so is this one. And these are both sterling ink, but the kind of the best purple I had was this one. And I have like a really deep dark purple, but it would cover up anything. So I just left it with this kind of color. But I love the wisteria. I think I was glad I had an extra days of the week down there. But would you ever do this? Would you ever have them upside down? Which is actually just off to the side if you put it this way. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this and want to stick around and hear about the rest of the months. I try to do them about once a week. I had to take a break last week because I had family in town and I just got burnt out. So I'm back at it. And these do take a lot of time, and the sun came out, right at the end here, which I'm thankful for. But yeah, I'm doing about once a week, and I hope to get through them. Like, we're coming up on halfway. After I do the next one, I'm halfway done. So I'm trying to get creative with it. June will be interesting. I'm looking ahead here at these next months, and August is going to be fun. But June, July, there's some interesting months coming up. So yeah, let me know what you think of this persona. And is there any kind of layouts that you would like to see done? Have you seen any in other creators that would be fun to try? Because a lot of these, I probably would never use, but it's a lot of fun to try, at least to do something different. So yeah, let me know in the comments. This isn't a cover here. I'm just using it because I feel better with a cover and just kind of protecting the front of it, but it's kind of loose like that. Consider liking on the way out, consider subscribing, consider hyping if you want, I guess. I don't know, that's the new thing. Because this is a very unusual project. It's something that came from my autistic mind and my ADHD mind, and I'm just, processing some things, being in a new living space here, but also reflecting back on my life. And I find this really fascinating, of looking back at some of these dreams that I had and seeing, what parts could I bring forward? And one of them is like organizing clients in a very specific way, or having a new layout, but also just maybe not putting as much in my planner and using different tools. It's like those kind of things that I'm kind of imagining. So let me know what you think. Take care, everyone. I'll see you next time. Bye.